What's up, everyone? It's Denise Salcedo. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling, episode 26, the March 24th edition. And holy moly, do we have two great shows to talk about here tonight. I am very excited to dive into both AEW Dynamite and NXT because they were both pretty solid shows that kind of are going to give us tons to talk about here today. Before we get started, as always, I do want to let you guys all know, if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to F4W Online here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, youtube.com/F4W Online if you're listening on the audio version. If you're watching here live, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe also. And we're going to get started off here. I'm already seeing some super chats, but I do want to let you guys know, if you want to get your question, comment, or statement read on the air here today with me, I will be reading your super chats. F4W does allow me to keep 100% of the proceeds. So if you guys want to go ahead and send them in, you are more than welcome to do so. And boy, all right, here we go. Let's kick it off. We have a comment from Sam Pyboon, a super chat. Thank you so much to Sam for kicking us off today. He says, when you want to interview with MJF and what you want to ask him if you interview MJF. Oh, okay. So Sam is asking a hypothetical question if I were to interview MJF. So I haven't been able to interview MJF just yet. He's definitely on a bucket list in terms of questions. I think there's so many, especially right now with everything that he's doing with the Pinnacle, everything that he did with the Inner Circle, the promo that he just cut last week on AEW Dynamite. I think there's plenty to talk about with MJF. So fingers crossed that eventually AEW gives me MJF, which they haven't yet, but we'll see if that happens. All right, guys, so kind of go ahead and send in your comments. This is a very interactive stream. I will be reading your thoughts and comments throughout the entire stream. I also want to get things going with what did you guys think overall of both AEW Dynamite today and NXT? Because personally, I did think that both shows top to bottom were really, really good, especially the way that AEW started and the way that it ended, I thought was very spectacular. And I loved the way that NXT ended. And we'll talk about that when we get to that too. We have another super chat. Thank you so much to Aubrey. Aubrey, you are awesome. Aubrey says, love the incorporation of the women's division tonight in AEW. Fire promo from Britt, Jade's video package, and Ty Conti's surprise win over Nyla. So first of all, I have to completely agree with Aubrey here. So last week when we were talking about that match with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, I mean, this stream was blowing up with people's comments and just what everybody was saying overall about this match because everybody felt hyped up and we went in depth about this last week, right? And I love the fact that Britt Baker came out and she did a great follow-up promo to this match because I loved her promo. We'll talk about that more when we get there, but it was a great way to sort of, circle back on the big events that happened last week. And I almost feel too, Britt Baker during this promo, she came in with this new confidence. To me, I think she felt like she had already been doing good work, but I feel like she definitely took it to that next level. I do think that after all of the praise and everything that she got from last week, I do think that she was definitely feeling herself a lot more this week on Dynamite. So good for her. And same thing with Jade's video package. I thought it was probably the best video package that they have done for her so far because they've done a few, but this one for me was probably the best because Jade had a lot of intensity in this promo. I loved everything she said. There wasn't anything bad in this promo whatsoever. So I was a big fan of Jade's video package for this week. And Ty Conti, her win over Nyla Rhodes, to be honest, I didn't see it coming. I really didn't see it coming. So I'm very happy that Ty got this win. She definitely needed it. And it was something new, that's for sure. So Aubrey, thank you so much for sending in this super chat. I very much appreciate it. We have another one from Ryan T. Thank you so much to Ryan who says, how strong does AEW counter TakeOver in 2 weeks? Well, I mean, look, right now, TakeOver Stand and Deliver is literally looking fantastic. I screenshotted the card right before we went on, and I just think that it's obviously going to be hard because that whole week, anything that people are going to be talking about WrestleMania and all of the events taking place prior to WrestleMania. I mean, there is so much wrestling happening that week. It's going to be crazy. So I feel like no matter what happens, people are going to be talking about stuff, especially WWE stuff, because they are going to be having so many events. I mean, it's literally nonstop back-to-back action. But Ryan, thank you so much for sending in this super chat. You guys are awesome. All right, so here we go. We're going to kick things off with AEW Dynamite as always, and then head into NXT talk. So here we go. Let's kick things off because the opening match for Dynamite was Kenny Omega versus Matt Sydal. So here's the thing, guys. Going into this match, I thought, all right, great. Kenny Omega's going to win, whatever. I didn't think I was going to come on here and that I was going to have so much to say. Well, I'm on here and I'm going to tell you that this was a great match and I was completely, I don't know if I was like, I would say this, I was shocked. Maybe not blown away, but I was surprised, very, very surprised and taken aback by how much they gave Matt Sydal in this match. But I loved it. I loved it because here's the thing. Again, we all knew that Kenny Omega was going to win this match. I don't think anybody here thought, all right, Matt Sydal is going to pin Kenny Omega. I don't think anybody here thought that, right? But at the end of the day, they gave so much to Matt Sydal that he really, really came out winning in this match. They showcased him the very best that I've seen thus far on Dynamite for him, in AEW for him, period. This literally was the best showcase for Matt Sydal. We were able to see, just so much of his athleticism, really just going in there and really having a great match, going head to head, toe-to-toe with Kenny Omega was a big deal. And I think that he really proved himself during this match. And I was a big fan of this. There were a couple of moments during this match where I just kept thinking, oh man, like they really are giving so much to Matt that it became so much more impressive. This was a very, very solid opener, and I ended up liking it. I ended up liking it so much more than I had previously anticipated that I would. Some of the things that I loved during this match were the leg lariats from Matt Sydal. I thought those were, I mean, dude, again, his athleticism, it really shined in this match. His speed in which he was working, it really shined. I think that he really kind of, in my mind tonight, he really embedded into people's brains that, hey, when you think of some of the best high flyers, the best, the most athletic guys in AEW, he kind of basically said, do not forget my name when you're mentioning all of these other people. So really kudos to Matt Sydal on this one. I also like the fact that commentary made a note of actually saying, hey, this is what his record is. Out of his last 8 matches, he's been winning. He won, I believe it was 7. So I like the fact that they did that too, because, for those that do not watch Dark or do not watch Elevation, they get an idea of why this person is going up against somebody like Kenny Omega. So all of this was really good. There was a lot of really good stuff, really, guys, like a lot of good stuff. So guys, go ahead and send in your thoughts. What did you think about Matt Sydal versus Kenny Omega? Here we go. This is a comment from Taz, who says, Matt Sydal is a perfect wrestler to have a strong back and forth 15-minute match on a TV episode of Dynamite. And here's the thing, and I'll say this right now, because one of the reasons why I particularly liked Dynamite today was because it felt very fresh. They were giving a lot of focus to a lot of guys that we don't get to see as often. So, there were certain weeks where I kind of felt like we were seeing the same guys over and over, right? And that's perfectly fine. Obviously, people need to get their TV time on Dynamite. But now I feel like we're going in a new direction, and I really like that. Again, we had this opening match and this closing match that to me really, really stood out as strong bookends for this show. So really good stuff. So there you go. That was some comments from Taz here. And let's see what else we have here. Go ahead and send in your thoughts, guys. I'm going to go ahead and look through them. If I don't see your comment and you're like, I really need Denise to read this, send in a super chat. Not only do they help me out, but I will also actually read your comment 100% sure. Here we go. Let's see what else we have here. This one is from Everbrand, who says, Matt Sydal is kind of hand that AEW needs to help give us solid matches for the top guys to win. Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to have those people on the roster, because that's one of the things that I've been constantly talking about. When I talk about Raw, one of the things that I've always said is that we need more challengers for the champions, more challengers for the champions, etc. I've said it so many times, and this is how you do something similar to that, obviously. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and move on. Good stuff there. After this, the second match, and this is what I also liked, continuing the trend of faces that we don't get to see very often. And this was Cesar Bonani versus Hangman Page. And this was a perfect TV match for Hangman Page to get a win, especially because Cesar Bonani, the way that they kicked off this match, he was kind of man-powering. He was overpowering Adam Page during this match. He was dominating the start of this match, and Adam Page was being overpowered. So in the end, no matter what, Hangman Page wins, and I liked this because it was an impressive win, especially over a guy that is Caesar's size. And obviously, this is another one of those cases where a lot of us expected Hangman Page to win. I don't think anybody here was expecting Cesar Bonani to win. But either way, they put on a good match, and it also made the person that won just look that much better. And Cesar Bonani also looked that much better. So even though, he didn't come out victorious, this match really helped him out. So it was kind of similar, but very similar results in the sense of both guys came out winning in both the first and the second match. Obviously, two totally different matches, and this was definitely Matt Sydal's night where he really did come out looking the strongest. But either way, this did not hurt Cesar Bonani, and I mean, we're still getting familiar with Cesar Bonani on the Dynamite audience, so this was really good. I really liked all of this, and there was something else that I wanted to add about this match, but I think I might. Oh, here we go. The other thing that I wanted to add that I liked about this match is that afterwards, commentary basically pointed out that Hangman Page is consistently getting a lot of wins and that he may be working his way towards getting that gold back by getting that gold back from Kenny Omega. So I really enjoyed this. So anyways, good stuff here, guys. What did you think about Cesar Bononi versus Hangman Page? Let's see what else we have here. Let's see. Any comments here about this? All right, this one is from Sean MCG, who says, good show from start to finish. I love that they're pushing Ty Conti and John Silver, and they are developing the Omega Bucks storyline. Oh, dude, and I talked about this too on Twitter, right, during the show, is that this is the good thing about Dynamite, and we saw a very good example of that today, is that not only are you seeing these guys that you're seeing guys like Darby Allin and John Silver in these main event spots, right? Even though they're the main event, they're getting the attention that they deserve. But at the same time, we still know that the focus is on Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, MJF, and all of those people, right? So I like the fact that they actually found a balance between getting the young guys to be seen and get these great spots, but also, keep pushing those guys that are their main eventers, obviously, even though they're not necessarily main eventing each and every single show. So I do enjoy the balance that they have found for the different talents on the roster. So good stuff there. Thank you so much to Corey Jeffrey, who sent in a super chat. He says, damn Manor Sims for Okada. Okay, there we go. Corey, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it here. Let's see, guys. Let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we had the Lance Archer promo. So pretty much all I want to say here is just kind of reiterate. I guess I want to get more of your thoughts here. What you think of everything that's been going on between Lance Archer and Sting. Are you guys liking the development of this story thus far? I mean, really, Lance Archer just came out and said that he looks up to Sting and that without him, there wouldn't be a murder hawk monster, Lance Archer, that he wouldn't be here essentially, and that he wants people to pay attention to him, similar to the way that they do to Sting. So this was an interesting promo, pretty simple, straight to the point. I love the setup, loved where he was at, and like all the production stuff around it, I thought was pretty good. But overall, to be honest, this one has been like hit or miss for me. I'm still not really feeling there's certain weeks where I feel like I'm not really that interested though in this Lance Archer Sting storyline. But then there are weeks where I'm like, okay, and I know it's only been like 2-3 weeks maybe, but there are some weeks where I find myself more interested than maybe other weeks. So there you go. This one is from Andrew Kaw, who says, Lance Archer needs to ambush Sting or something. I feel like he's getting lost in the shuffle. Yeah, I mean, he's coming out and he's cutting these promos, but they're not exactly, I think based on all of the other promo work that we're getting on Dynamite, his promos to me are good, but they're not the very best compared to some of the other ones. So sometimes I do feel like it could be a little bit, you could kind of forget whatever it was that Lance Archer said that week, because there are better promos being cut on the show. We have a comment from, let's see what else we have here. We have a comment from Sean MCG, who says, Lance Archer seems a little too nice to be a murder hawk. It's weird that Jake isn't cutting promos for him. And like I said, his promos aren't bad though. They really aren't bad. They really aren't. It's just more of there's other people I think right now outshining him at the moment. So there you go. This let's go ahead and move on though from this here. So after this this is the promo. So speaking of promos that are outshining other people's promos, this one here was from Britt Baker, and I gotta say, and I said this at the top of the stream, the fact that she came out here and she cut this awesome promo immediately following last week's amazing match, historic match, whatever you want to call it, coming out here, she really did come out here with a new confidence, a new presence. And I feel as a viewer, this to me felt like a new Britt Baker. Yeah, she was already cutting good promos. Yeah, she already had the character, right? She already had the personality. Okay, but this week to me, she felt like she took it another level. To me, this really feels like a new Britt Baker. And I love this because she came out and she basically said, that Thunder Rosa should be thanking her each and every single day that she wakes up, because she will be forever remembered in history for the story that she wrote with her own blood. So immediately, once we saw Britt Baker gushing out blood last week during their Lights Out match all over social media, now you're seeing it on a t-shirt. Her bloodied face was everywhere. So I loved this line, because one of the vivid memories that we're always going to have from this match is literally Britt Baker's bloodied face. And no matter what, throughout the years, people, when talking about Britt Baker, they're always going to go back to this moment. So that sort of became a monumental moment for AEW Women's Division, and for Britt Baker's career. So we're always going to have that image in our minds. And so now she's, embedding it into this promo. So I really love that. I love the fact that she said she doesn't need the validation from all these people. And I thought this was a perfect way, because obviously everybody on social media, including myself, and so many people were like, yay, Britt Baker, she did awesome, woohoo, right? But she comes out here and she says, I don't need the validation from people. Great heel work here. I love that. I enjoyed when she called out Mick Foley. Obviously, Mick Foley was one of those people that were also congratulating Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. But she basically says, it took you 20 years to become a hardcore legend, and I did it in one night. I wasn't expecting her to say this. I wasn't expecting her to call out Mick Foley. So I thought that this was fantastic. Then she also calls out Tony Khan. And she says that, Tony Khan's always out here looking for legends when he has one right underneath his nose. And that is what I mean by newfound confidence. And she could have, said these words, right? But the fact, though, the closing argument that I want to make about why I thought this promo was great was because it came across as believable. I believed that she meant every word that she said in this promo. I believed that when she was talking about Mick Foley, when she was talking about Tony Khan, when she was talking about Thunder Rosa, that she really, really meant every word that she was saying. So I thought this was fantastic. Closing lines with her saying that she put AEW on the map. That was a bold statement, but it was a great statement for her to make. And again, just keep adding to that heel persona. So what did you guys all think of the Britt Baker promo here tonight, especially following that Lights Out match? Go ahead and send in your thoughts, etc. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Mark in Mad City, who says, Britt is killing it. Denise, your curls are killing it too. Mark in Mad City, I decided I got to stop being lazy with my hair and actually comb it when I come on these shows. So I figured might as well do something new with the hair and see if people like it. So thank you so much to Mark in Mad City. You proved my point. I curled my hair. I made an extra couple of bucks, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much to Mark in Mad City. All right, guys, and let's go ahead and read the rest of your comments here, because I saw quite a few comments coming in about Britt Baker. But before we get to those, we do have a super chat from Flamethrower Plus Salisbury. Thank you so much to Flamethrower. He says, right now, Britt almost seems like early 97 Stone Cold. She talks like a heel, but is tough like a face. I love this. I love this. I do not mind this comparison. Obviously, it's very, you don't just compare anybody to Stone Cold, obviously, because Stone Cold is at another level. But I still like this comparison, and I don't mind it, because I really do think that Britt Baker is going to start going in a different direction than maybe some of us might have assumed that she would go in. And this Lights Out match was really the start to that. So that's very exciting to see. I kind of want to see her become this like hardcore, badass female legend. That's what I want to see out of Britt Baker now. And now that I saw her bleed once, I kind of want to see it again. Like, sue me, guys. I want to see it again. It was good stuff. Obviously, you can't be doing it all the time, right? It's got to make sense. But hey, I don't mind if we were to see it again. So thank you so much to Flamethrower for sending in the super chat. I truly, truly appreciate it. So let's see what else you guys are saying about Britt Baker. This one here is from Andrew, who says they need to put the title on Britt ASAP. Tyler says Britt's mic skills, exclamation points. See, I would love her with the title, but I do think that, like, I do think Thunder Rosa should be champion as well because they've built her into this ultimate baby face. And so I think she can do a lot as champion, but so can Britt Baker. So this is the good thing, is that we're finally starting to get options here. We're finally starting to feel like there's options for people to be the champion. And I get it. People were always there, right? But there's finally a story to tell. There's finally something to get excited about with the AEW women's division. And we're seeing it right now. And we're finally getting excited about it. This one is from Derek, who says, I hope she gets a shot with Sheeta soon. I expect they've kept them apart because the plan is for Britt to take the title eventually. Dude, right now, all of the momentum that she has, I can't imagine them not putting the belt on her or Thunder Rosa, because both of them have a lot of momentum right now. They really, really do. And Labor Day suggests Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa in a cage is the way to end their feud 2 years from now for the title. This one here is from Tommy Walton, who says, the women's division has clearly been improving and has been earning the right to be on TV much more. Dude, like, they have been improving. And that's the thing, is that people always wanted to see the women on TV. It was just that they weren't necessarily, they weren't doing a lot with Hikaru Shida. The women just weren't getting the right opportunities, or they were having quick matches, or were being left off the show. And obviously there's still a lot of work and, a lot that could be added to the AEW women's division, but definitely right now they are going in the right direction of, wronging all of their mistakes, righting all of their wrongs, essentially. And let's go ahead and kick things off. Let's continue things on with, after this, we had a quick interview with Dasha interviewing Christian. He was seen backstage chatting it up with the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin. Frankie Kazarian approaches him and basically says that he also lives by the outwork everyone catchphrase, and basically asks Christian Cage, hey, when does the work actually begin? Christian tells Frankie Kazarian that if he's free, to step up. And so they're essentially going to be having a match next week. And so here's the thing that I want to add about this. So I like the fact that we're seeing Christian versus Frankie Kazarian, because one of the things that recently Frankie Kazarian did an interview, I think it was maybe like 2 weeks ago or so, on the AEW Unfiltered podcast. And there was a quote in there from him that basically said something along the lines of, he really doesn't feel like there are people, fans, or, the social media world necessarily clamoring for him to get these matches out there. It was a really sad quote. He basically said that people weren't looking forward to seeing him wrestle people, or that people weren't saying, oh, we want to see Frankie Kazarian versus this person, or Frankie Kazarian versus that person. And I kind of felt really bad when I read that quote. So now I'm looking forward to this match, because it's a good way to start getting, Christian, start getting some matches in there for him. And I don't see Frankie Kazarian as a bad competitor whatsoever. So I'm glad that we're going to be able to actually see Frankie Kazarian in this match with Christian Cage. So is this a match that you guys are looking forward to? Let me know in the comment section. Here we go. This one is from, you guys are funny. All right. This one is from Derek Jones, who says, good on the booking to recognize that they need Christian to earn his moniker and address the criticism fans have had so far with it. Exactly, because I kind of felt like we were getting two different things from Christian. I was reading interviews where he was basically saying, hey, I'm not going to go after Kenny Omega. I need to earn my stripes. I need to, get matches, win matches, and all of that, right? And then, so I read this interview. I was reading the quote from an interview that he had, which was somewhat what along the lines of what he said. And then the following week on Dynamite was when he had that face-off with Kenny Omega. And I thought, okay, these are two very different things that we're hearing. We're hearing one thing on an interview, and the next thing you know, he's doing a face-off with Kenny Omega. But then the following week, they finally had Christian do an interview and this was last week, where he said that, hey, he's actually gonna he's hoping to have more matches, etc. Right? So I liked that they finally went back on that because I kind of felt like we were hearing two different things from Christian, which I wasn't a fan of. So I'm glad that we're sort of on the same page now where everyone agrees that, hey, he's going to be, earning his stripes. He's going to be getting wins, etc., wrestling guys and making his way over to that main event picture just like every other guy. So there you go on that. And we have a comment from Sam3 who says Frankie Kazarian in singles matches can be main event worthy. All right, moving on. So after this, we had FTR and Shawn Spears versus Dante Martin, Brian Pillman Jr., and Griff Garrison in a 6-man tag. So really what I kind of want to just get from this match, because I didn't think this match was anything, out of this world. It wasn't one of my favorite matches of the night, but I do want to get across something that I really liked about this. So first off, one of the things that I wanted to come on here and that I wanted to say on this podcast was that Shawn Spears has not been at the spot on the roster that maybe some people might have assumed that he would be on. He was one of those people that kind of really lost he was kind of just there. He was sort of floating around. He was one of those guys that was lost in the shuffle. He really was. And now with this association though that he has with the Pinnacle and being in the Pinnacle, it really has added so much to him. And even though it's only been a few weeks, I can already see that there is a difference to him. And I really like that. And more importantly, the finish to this match, Shawn Spears was able to get the pin over Dante Martin in this match. And I thought that him getting the pin made a whole lot of sense and mattered much more because out of all the guys in the Pinnacle, he really is the one that has to prove himself that much more than the rest of the guys. So I like the fact that they actually gave him the opportunity to get the pin in this match. So it actually meant something when he won. So I liked that. Post-match, we obviously had another, pretty good promo from MJF where he basically says, when you're in the Pinnacle, you're always on top. And I really do like the direction in which they're going with the Pinnacle so far. We got to see them, work together here tonight, which was obviously a pretty good start. So good stuff here. This is the best thing that could have happened to Shawn Spears. Like really the best thing that could have happened to him. Seriously. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Kara Nova, who says, I definitely thought the Cody Shawn Spears story early in AEW was really good, but after that, he definitely fizzled out a bit. Exactly. And that's what I was referring to when I meant that, maybe people might have expected his career or his run in AEW to go a lot differently, considering the way that it started, but kind of the way that it progressed. It really died down for him. It really, really did. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, I do agree with this comment. This one is from Tommy Walton, who says, too much picture-in-picture. Dax looked awesome. So first of all, I agree with you. I hate picture-in-picture. I hate it so much, guys. I hate picture-in-picture in any promotion. I do not like picture-in-picture. When it's picture-in-picture, I stop watching. I cannot watch. I'm already watching on a little screen. I cannot watch on a littler, more tinier screen. So I do have to read this comment because I do agree with this comment here. And hey, shout out to Sean, who just became a new member here on the F4W Online YouTube channel. Congratulations, Sean. Welcome to the family. For those of you who are wondering what on earth is this, you could become a member of the F4W Online community on YouTube. And that automatically allows you to watch all of this bonus members only content that is being put up on the channel. So if you want to get more exclusive content, become a member, just like Sean did. Okay, and let's go ahead and continue on here. What else you guys are saying here? All right, cool. So let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we had a follow-up from Team Taz. So Taz basically comes out and he basically says that Cage has apologized for his actions from last week and that all is good in Team Taz. But the vibes that we're getting from Brian Cage, he was kind of just there, really kind of rolling his eyes, looking kind of perplexed by what Taz was saying. So obviously, that he isn't going to be happy moving forward. He may have been relaxed and chill tonight, but I don't think that's the Brian Cage that we're going to get moving forward. So I like this. We obviously know that Cage isn't on the same page as them. So I do like what they're doing with Team Taz. I do want to see more matches though with Team Taz. And I have been saying this for the last several weeks. We need to see Team Taz in action a whole lot more. And let's see what else we got here. We have a comment from Jake Larson who says, I'm still laughing 20 minutes later at Denise saying, once I saw Britt bleed, I want to see more. I do. I got to admit though, I'm this people, like I love blood in matches. I love that kind of stuff. I love the violence. I'm a fan of that type of stuff. And I think I've said this a couple of times. I've always wanted to watch, a death match live. I've never been able to, but for the most part, I'm into the violence. I'm into that type of stuff. Give me the blood. Give me the gore. Give me the thumbtacks. Give me the fire. Give me the barbed wire. Whatever. Give it to me. I'm here. And yeah, I agree with this comment. This one is from Labor Days. It says more Ricky Starks. Exactly. We do need to see more Ricky Starks because Ricky Starks is awesome. I like Ricky Starks a whole lot. And Derek also says Starks also showed a lot of frustration with it. I didn't notice that. So thank you so much. I think I was just literally, my eyes were on Taz and then they would go to Cage and then Taz and then Cage. So I actually didn't notice the facial reactions from Stars. So there you go. All right, after this, okay, so I need to get your thoughts on this next segment because I'm not really feeling it. I'll be real with you guys. I'm not really that interested. And this is basically QT Marshall coming out and basically saying that he's done being Cody's not done being his friend, but he's done being in his shadow. He's done being just the guy that's Cody's friend. He's in his shadow. So he wants to have an exhibition match with Cody to prove once and for all that he's here for a reason and he does not want to be in the shadow of Cody. So I'll be real with you guys. I have really no interest in this whatsoever. The promo itself was okay. I wasn't completely sold. If I was, I think I'd be looking forward to this match. But realistically, honestly, I'm not looking forward to it. It's probably the least thing that I'm interested or was interested in the show. So I'm very curious to see what you guys thought. Were you guys interested? Were you not interested? Send in your thoughts, guys. Go ahead. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. We have a comment from Kareem who says, I think the match is where he officially turns heel. LW says, not feeling it either. So it kind of seems to me like a lot of you really aren't exactly, well, it's so far based on the comments that I'm reading, so far a lot of people aren't really feeling this one. This one is from Rome who says, I agree. I don't see it going anywhere. And here's the thing, and I need to ask this on here on this live stream because so I sent out a tweet that kind of got a little controversial. I put out a question basically asking people if they thought AEW sort of messed up by keeping Cody out, by essentially eliminating Cody from challenging for the world title. And the reason why I brought that up is because I really do feel that Cody sometimes gets stuck in these mid-arc feuds that really aren't that mid-card arc feuds that really aren't that great. Like we had that whole thing with Shaq and Jade Cargill and all of this. And sometimes, and now we're doing this thing with QT Marshall, which I'm not really interested in. And so I started thinking to myself, obviously he's done a lot of great stuff, but it's not always great. It's not always great. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I'm curious, do you think that they kind of messed up by basically saying he's not going to be challenging for the world title? And this doesn't mean that, oh, hey, he has to be champion. No, I'm just saying the illusion or the opportunity of him being there in this world title picture and being seen on the level of Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. So I'm curious to see what you guys think, because there are times where I think, okay, whatever, he's not going to be challenging, that's fine. But then there are times where I think, okay, Cody could probably be doing something a lot better on this show than what we're seeing. So send in your thoughts here. Okay. Christopher Marino points out, what was the point of Penta last week? It means nothing. Exactly. Like, I didn't really feel like we were done there just yet. So this did come out a little bit out of nowhere, maybe. This one is from Derek, who says, I think QT is a good mainstay, but he says, I think QT is a good dark mainstay, but if they have this for next week, it needs to be a story development for Cody, possibly turning heel or some other development, not QT. And we have a super chat actually from Chris Ludek. Thank you so much to Chris, who says, I think an easy way to get around Cody not being able to challenge for the title is by turning heel. In that role, he can just go back on his word. Okay, but how would the fans react to that? Like, I've seen a lot of people basically say, hey, that, him turning heel is a way to get around it. But to me, that seems like something that the fans would essentially be upset about, because it's like, if they do the stipulation at some point in time, or any sort of stipulation that has a, end all be all result, it's kind of like, are the fans going to believe it when it happens and they're going to buy it? Because then it's like, hey, Cody went back on this. So it's kind of, I feel like they didn't have to do this. And now they're sort of like in a weird spot with Cody there. So anyways, I don't know if that's the best way to get around it. Maybe that's the only way that I'm seeing right now. And I'm sure that's why you send in the super chat, because I've been seeing a lot of people saying, well, he can just turn heel and that's how he can get around it. And that seems like the only option, right? Is there another option? Send them in. There's something I'm not seeing. Send it in. This one is from Michael, who says, I would love to see Jericho tell AEW management that Cody should be able to wrestle for the world title and lift the ban, thus helping Jericho's face turn. Would that make sense, though? Would it? Send it in. Send in your thoughts, guys. This one is Sean Harrington, who says, I know I'm in the minority, but I'm looking forward to the match because I feel like QT Marshall is underrated and enjoy his matches on Dark. I appreciate your honesty, Sean. Thank you so much for sending that in. This one is from K-Town Shutdown, who says, Cody hasn't been very interesting since the Brody feud. You're right. He gets some of the dullest stories. And Andy R says Cody books himself in a strange way. I guess that's a way of looking at it. There have been things that I've truly been interested in, but again, like I said, I'm not interested in the QT Marshall thing. I wasn't interested in the Shaq thing, and you can't be having obviously celebrity matches over and over. And anything else here we have? This one is from Andrew, who says, Cody seriously has the potential to be the mainstream star pro wrestling needs. Unfortunately, the inability for him to be an AEW title picture really limits his progress and the promotion as a whole. And that's the thing too, is that Cody really is the guy that, he's hosting. He's one of the judges on the Go Big Home, the Go Big Show, the show that he's on, that one. He's later on, and I'll talk about this, the reality show that he's now doing with Brandy. So it does feel like, I don't know, it feels like we're getting a little bit of both things here. And let's see what else we have here. This one is from Tunol, who says, Cody pretty much said the same thing in a recent media interview a month ago, returning heel, break the clause. And let's see, we have a comment from Lou Pickney, who says, AEW has never gone back on a stipulation. That's the legacy of ECW that needs to be chased. Otherwise, stipulations mean nothing like in WWE. And that's one of the things that I brought up. Although I do think that because, fans or certain people are saying, hey, we want to see him turn heel so that maybe he could go around the stipulation, tells me that he should have never been taken off the opportunity of possibly becoming a world champion. Again, this doesn't mean he has to be champion. It's just, hey, have the possibility there, have it open. Anything else here that we have here? Okay. let's move on, guys. Oh, let's read this one, actually. This one's from, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, no, Andrew, I thought he actually had the comment here. All right, this one is from Brandon, who says, Cody needs to lose a buried alive match and come back as a new character, and then he can challenge for the title. Well, you know what, Brandon? That is an option. I like how we're coming out with these out-of-the-box options here. All right, guys, let's move on. Here we go. This next thing that we're going to talk about is, Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid versus Brandon Cutler and the Young Bucks. And I'm going to start off by saying this. If I do not, and I repeat, do not get tired of seeing the Lucha Brothers in the same ring as the Young Bucks. Call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I just love this. I just love it. I'm sorry. I love it. It's very, very exciting for me. Again, I don't care how many times I've seen it. I want to see it all the time. Dang, if I was TK, I would book this. If this was my company and I had millions and millions of dollars, I'd book this every week. But I loved this match. I was very, very happy to see Laredo Kid in this match. This was very awesome. But before I get into dive into it a little bit more, we do have a super chat. Thank you so much from All Elite DK, who says, going back to the Cody subject, he says, I think Cody won't challenge for AEW title because he once mentioned he regrets Dusty couldn't see him become a world champion. So maybe it's his way. Interesting. Okay. Thank you so much to All Elite DK for sending this in. I don't know. I don't recall him saying this, so I don't really remember. But if anybody else has the specific moment as to when he said that, feel free to send that in. But I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know. I have no comment to this. All Elite DK, thank you so much, Steph, for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. And so, okay, back to this Lucha Brothers Laredo Kid, Brandon Cutler, Young Bucks match. So, again, I'm happy to see Laredo Kid back in AEW doing his thing because damn, he was on fire. Okay, this was so good. It was literally just nonstop action. Okay, just so much going on in this match. My favorite, let's see what else here. I've had several notes on this, but really, what I just want to say here is that specifically when the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid and the Young Bucks were in there, it was really when this match was just boom, 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 stuff happening here, stuff happening there. I like this stuff, guys. I really, really do. But what I also want to point out, and then I forgot to say at the top of this really, is that we need to give a shout out. And I know I messed up the name like 2 weeks ago, but Alex Abrahantes really has been doing a phenomenal job at this translating thing. He's been doing a really great job at selling it. And there was a comment from JR after they played the promo with the Lucha Brothers and Alex. And basically JR says, why is Alex pissed off? Simple line. It killed me. I couldn't stop laughing about this. So good stuff here. So after this match though, and then I'll read your comments on this. After this match, basically Kenny comes out and he tells the Bucks that they are the reason that he chose AEW, that they are the reason their vision of what AEW could become, it possibly becoming the best wrestling promotion, is the reason why he chose them. But he then points out that they never chose him back. And call me a sucker, but I really felt sympathetic for Kenny Omega in this, and I get it. He's a master manipulator. I get it. But at the same time, this line, it sold me. It sold me. Like him begging the Bucks to essentially get back and be on his side. He successfully garnered sympathy from me as a viewer. I felt bad for Kenny Omega. And that is what I like here, is that obviously he's a heel. He's the bad guy, whatever. But he's able to, in this promo, he was really able to get me to feel a different way about him. And so I really enjoyed this promo. I really enjoyed this whole segment. The Bucks obviously they're not buying his BS like I am. And they turn around and they walk away. And as Kenny Omega is watching them walk away, he turns around and then bam, the Lucha Brothers super kick him in the face. They even bust him. He even gets busted open and starts bleeding. So I thought this was really good. I loved the match itself. I loved the interaction with the Bucks and Kenny Omega. I thought that was really, really good stuff overall. So let's see what you guys are saying here. This one is from Christopher, who says, the Lucha Brothers are my favorite tag team ever. I need more of them. Yeah, seriously, I agree with that too. But you know what though? They've actually been doing a lot with the Lucha Brothers. We've been seeing them have, their time in the sun as single stars. We've seen them team this week. So I like that. I like that every week we're getting something different with them. And I enjoy that. This one is from Labor Days. It says, Lucha Brothers are great, but I thought they were going to have them as singles for a little while. See, I don't mind the fact that certain weeks they have them as singles and then other weeks they're in tag team matches. I actually think that's the way that it should be. And I think I said this before, is that I really do think that they benefit AEW a whole lot, pursuing their own stories separate of each other. But at the same time, they can always go back and have these matches together. Like, I don't see why they can't do both, essentially. And this one is from R. Riggs, who says, this was a great match for speed and spots. They had little storytelling in the match. I thought this should have been the opener. No, you know what? No, I actually do. I like the fact that the Matt Sydal Kenny Omega match was the opener. I thought it made a lot of sense. And I liked it. I think it kicked off the show in a really good way. This was perfectly fine in the spot that it was for me. And we have a super chat. Thank you so much to Brian Doyle. I really appreciate you sending a super chat in. He says, Cody really annoyed me when he came out wearing a sling when he couldn't be bothered to sell Penta's arm breaker for more than 2 seconds last week. You do have a point there, Brian. You have a point there. Thank you so much for sending in this super chat. I really, really appreciate it. And let's see what else we have here. This one is from Labor Days. It says, the smugness of Alex is delightful. And our Rig says that he likes how they use Laredo Kid being back to furthering the storyline with Kenny and the Bucks. Yeah, and even when Kenny just came out and he just kicks them, kind of like, oh yeah, I remember you. Bam, kick you. I hate you. Whatever. That was fantastic. And this one is an interesting comment, but I lost it here for a second. This one is from, let's see, this is a comment from Alex Aguilera, who says, I would love to see the shot of Kenny with all the belts, having collected everything, but realizing he lost everyone close to him. To do so would be the perfect moment to start the downfall. Dude, talk about poetry, talk about poetic justice, whatever you want to call it. That is a fantastic visual there. And yeah, I really like that idea. Yeah, good stuff there. Good stuff. And let's see. This one is from, I'm trying to get as many comments as I can here, guys. Again, if you have a brilliant comment and you're really upset that I haven't read it, send in a super chat. I do read those. Your comment will be read on the air, 100% guaranteed. And because it is kind of hard. I'm looking at your comments here and I can't tell sometimes what part of the conversation we're on here. So I want to make sure I read the appropriate comments at the appropriate time. If that makes any sense. All right, let's go ahead and move on though. So after this, we had the Jade Cargill promo, which I already mentioned at the top of this, was awesome. This was definitely the best promo that she has done. A lot of intensity. I do think, though, that in order for her to continue growing, I do think that she should be having continuous matches on Dark and Dynamite. I think she needs to be having more action for her so she can just keep getting better and better. But I do love this promo that she cut on Red Velvet. It was fantastic. Good stuff all around with Jade Cargill on this one. And thank you so much to All Elite DK for sending in another super chat. He says, a serious Lucha Brothers versus FTR. I don't mind it whatsoever. I do not mind that idea whatsoever. Thank you so much to All Elite DK. This is a funny comment from Mark in Mad City, who says, I've never had a brilliant chat. All right, fine. If it's not brilliant, but you just want to get it read, send it in a super chat. I don't mind it. All right, guys, let's move on. So after this, we had, okay, here we go. So after this, we have a new announcement. There's going to be a new original TNT series announced called Rhodes to the Top. And this is, from the looks of it, about Brandy and Cody and their life. It looks like their very own Ms. and Mrs. So they have a reality show now, and I'm not really into reality shows. Like, I don't watch any type of reality show unless it's competition reality. So this, I might watch like 1 or 2 episodes, but I'm not really the person that, like, I think I've seen like glimpses of Total Bellas. I've seen maybe, God, like 2 episodes of, maybe 4 episodes of Total Divas. And I'm talking like all the years that show has been on, and I've only probably seen 4 episodes. And I might even be confusing that with Total Bellas. So I've never seen Ms. and Mrs. I'm not really much of a reality person. So maybe I'll watch just to get an idea of what's happening. But will you be watching Rhodes to the Top? Are you a reality TV person? I do feel, though, that these shows are garnered more towards a different audience, different people, because there's been so many times where I'll be out, in my regular life, and I tell people like, hey, I'm a wrestling fan, and they know nothing about it, but they'll be like, oh yeah, I know Nikki and Brie. I know them from, from their show, or they know the Miz, they know Maurice because of these reality shows, but they don't know anything else about like wrestling or anything. For example, my mom, she doesn't know anything about wrestling, but you know who she knows? She knows the Bellatons. She knows Brie. She knows Nikki. She knows all about them because of their reality show. So this is a good way to, get them new eyeballs, essentially, people that are not necessarily wrestling fans per se. So Andy R says it's more stage than wrestling. LOL. See, that's what I don't like reality shows. It's just not for me. It really isn't for me. And let's see what else we have here. Dan Pearson says, good thing is it shows that TNT has faith in the AEW product if they're willing to give their stars a show like that. And they should. They really should. It makes them a much more of a bigger deal. It makes them, gets people talking about them. Brandon suggested I should have my own reality show. I don't think anybody would pay to watch me spend all day editing videos. That would be a really sad thing. I started doing, side note, and then I'll get back to the wrestling. I started doing a my life in a week vlog. And then I decided that my vlog life was very boring, and I deleted all the videos, and that video will never see the light of day. I have to do it on a very exciting week in my life. And the week I decided on was really not that great. Okay. And let's go ahead and move on. I spent too much time on reality shows here. For a person who doesn't like reality shows, I spend way too much time on it. We have a Kingston Moxley promo. Kingston's foot is in a cast. They're coming for revenge on the Good Brothers. Good promos. Lots of street talk, like what they're doing. And let's jump into the Nyla Rose versus Ty Conti match, because really here, and we had somebody send in a super chat earlier on the stream talking about how they were surprised that Ty Conti got a win. And I have to agree. I was completely shocked that Ty got this win over Nyla Rose. I thought that this was such a great victory for her. The match itself, though, to me, it was not good. There was nothing special for me in this match. It was really just the fact that she got the win was really a good win for her. So I'm happy for her. After the match, Nyla attacks her. She's pissed. She's a sore loser. She's pissed that she lost, etc. Hikaru Shida then comes out and gets Nyla in the back with a kendo shot to the back, and then punches her then nonstop. Then Bunny comes out and gets Shida and Ty Conti with the kendo stick. And then Matt Hardy and the Butcher and the Blade come out. And basically Matt says that the women's tournament was terrible because the Bunny wasn't in it, and that he's done with his clients being overlooked. So that was this segment. Good for Ty Conti. This was a turning point for her, and I hope we get to see her do more, get some more wins, build some more girls up. Again, keep building people up for them to be challengers to the champions. That's really what they need to do there. And yeah, we have a comment from Everbrand here who says Ty Conti is amazingly talented. I wanted to read that because she really is. She's been getting so much, like, to me, she's been improving all the times that I've seen her. She has been improving. And next week, guys, so they already announced several matches for next week, some of which include Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy versus Kip Sabian and Miro. Hikaru Shida and Ty Conti will be teaming up to face the Bunny and Nyla Rose. Then we have Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid, which I am looking forward to very, very much. Out of all these matches, this is the match that I'm looking forward to. And then we have Cody versus QT Marshall in an exhibition match with Arn as a ref, and Cage versus Christian Cage, versus Frankie Kazarian. I was just going to say Cage versus Frankie Kazarian, but then I remembered we also have Brian Cage, and I didn't want to confuse anybody. So there we go. After this, we had a quick promo from Scorpio Sky. He basically says that this isn't the new side of him like everyone has been saying. In fact, this is just the side that we haven't seen. Says he is done being overrated and but he announces his match with Matt Sydal on Elevation. And I liked this more particularly because who had the blowout match here tonight? Matt Sydal and Kenny Omega. So the fact that he had this impressive opening match on AEW Dynamite, and then he's going into this match with Scorpio Sky, makes Scorpio Sky look good, makes Matt Sydal look good, makes the show look good, makes you want to watch it. So there you go. Good stuff. After this, man, oh my gosh, I literally did an hour on AEW. God. All right, here we go. Main event time. John Silver versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. Again, good ending to this show. I talked about how it started really good, it ended really good, and I love this match. And my favorite thing about this match, in fact, is that we knew, or at least I knew, or I felt fairly confident that Darby Allin was going to walk out tonight as TNT champion. I don't think any part of me thought that John Silver was going to come out as champion. But nevertheless, I wanted John Silver to come out as champion. Even though I knew it wasn't going to happen, my heart still wanted it because John Silver has really managed to get himself over, and this is why I'm happy that he got this main event, because he deserves this main event in this match against Darby for the title, because he has gotten himself over, not just in the way that he presents his persona where he's, this very funny guy, but also in the ring. He's a funny guy outside the ring, but in the ring, he's this aggressive guy that can literally kick your butt. So this was really good stuff, and I feel that this was a great way for AEW to reward him by putting him in this spot. It was a great match. I really enjoyed it. And matches like these are really a reason why a promotion like AEW is needed. A promotion like AEW is needed to keep building these new stars in wrestling, these new people, these new faces like Darby, like John Silver, like so many others that you can name on the roster. So this was really good stuff here. Obviously, Darby Allin won, but there was a part of me that really kind of wanted to see John Silver win. So they managed to really kind of get my hopes up, where I was actually really rooting for him at some point. And the show basically closes out after Matt Hardy and his guys start a brawl. There's a brawl, closes out AEW Dynamite, guys. So there you go. That is AEW Dynamite. And we're going to jump into NXT. But before I do that, we do have some super chats. Thank you so much to Shadow Crip. Says, it's Mike Sydal, not Matt Sydal. Okay. Let's move on. Let's see. Where am I at? Oh my gosh. Where am I at? Oh, Ryan T. Ryan T says, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way, Ryan. He says, Darby said post-show that Silver dislocated his shoulder. Darby said post-show that Silver dislocated his shoulder. Oh, man. Oh, God. Okay, that's not good. All right, I'll check on that after this show here. So thank you so much for sending in this comment, Ryan. I really appreciate you sending it in a super chat, by the way. Really appreciate that. And lastly, guys, go ahead and send in your thoughts. I'm trying to see what else you guys are saying about this match here. Shadow Crypt says, I ignored one of his super chats. Oh no, I just read it. Sorry. Sorry about that. I always try to make sure I see the super chats, but no, I got it. All right, cool. And so let's see what else we have here. This is a comment from R. Riggs. It says he really enjoyed this match and loved how Tay ran out to attack Bunny and didn't get why Sting and Darby were acting like heels though. Okay, so I did like that same thing. Ty attacking Bunny, good stuff. And I don't know if they were just acting like heels. They were just like pissed. They were pissed. They were pissed. All right, this one is from All Elite DK. Thank you so much from the super chat. He says, mark my words. Few years down the line, AEW will have so many starts like Darby, Silver, Jungle Boy, MJF. At least they are trying to make stars, unlike WWE. Dude, they're making stars too. We're talking about, I mean, not as many, but they're making some stars, all right? Especially on NXT. We're getting that. We're getting there. But thank you so much to All Elite DK for that. All right, guys. So let's move on to NXT because they did put on a great show as well. And there is kind of a lot to talk about for tonight's show. There were several matches that I really enjoyed, and it had a really good ending. So the show kicked off with Dakota Kai and Raquel versus Zoe Stark and Io Shirai. And what I like about this, first off, is that the last couple of weeks, since Zoe really debuted on NXT, they look like they really like her because they've been giving her a lot of good stuff. For the most part, she's been looking solid each and every single week. They haven't made her look bad whatsoever. Now she's teaming with Io Shirai. She's getting the rub from Io Shirai. I really, really like that. So I'm very happy for Zoe Stark and the fact that she's getting this opportunity. But the person that I really want to put over in this match really is Dakota Kai. And the reason why I want to put over Dakota Kai here is because I've come on here maybe a couple months ago when I first started talking about NXT on here. I said that I kind of felt like there was something missing with Dakota Kai. And I did feel that for a very long time. For a very long time, I felt like there was something missing with Dakota Kai. There was something that wasn't necessarily connecting. However, this week, or like the last couple of weeks, I've been noticing, and more so this week, really, that she has gotten so much better in the ring. And it's not that she was bad in the beginning or anything like that. It's just that she's just gotten better. She moves at a faster speed where she was really looking good, going toe-to-toe with Io Shirai. And Io Shirai, you all know that she can move like the Flash, okay? She moves like the Flash. And so for her to be able to keep up with Io Shirai was very, very impressive. And that is what impressed me. In this match. So I need to give credit where credit is due, and that is to Dakota Kai there. But in the end, we did have Raquel getting the win. She pins Zoe Stark, which is perfectly fine. I think the only thing that maybe might have been like a little off was maybe all of the selling that Raquel was doing for Zoe. She didn't really have to do it as much because Raquel is on a different level. But overall, this was a really fun match. And I like the fact, you know what? It might have been one of my favorite NXT women's tag team matches because I really, really thought this one was a lot of fun. I think it was really just the interactions between Io Shirai and Dakota Kai that made this match much more impressive for me. It really did. Post-match, though, we had Raquel give a big boot to Io Shirai, and then she chokeslams her onto the commentary table. And honestly, I like this because given that Dakota and Raquel were essentially the last 2-3 weeks were booked terribly with how they got their championships, then how they lost them. That was not good for them. So I do feel like they're sort of getting back on track with Dakota and Raquel. So Raquel looked impressive here tonight. Dakota looked good in ring. So good stuff here. We need to get that momentum back for Raquel. That's for sure. So this was a start of getting there in that direction. And let's see what else we have here. This one is from Joseph, who says, Dakota's confidence has gone up since teaming with Raquel. They should be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, point blank, period. Point blank, period. I don't think obviously now they have the NXT Women's Tag Team belt. So I think that ship has sailed with them becoming the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. The ship has sailed. Sean Harrington says, Adam Cole will be next to finding his own place in catering after he puts over Kyle O'Reilly. And all right, guys, let's move on. All right, so after this, So after this match, I want to talk about Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. So I am so happy that Bronson Reed won this match. And the reason for that is I really do think when it comes to Bronson Reed and LA Knight, even though LA Knight has a very larger than life persona and all of that, I really do think in ring wise, there is much more upside to Bronson Reed. I love his matches. I love his work. I've been a fan of Bronson Reed. He's been one of those guys that really impresses me. And I'm just not completely feeling it in ring wise with LA Knight. His entire offense is really just your basic strikes and rest holds. He really does need more fire in the ring. His moves need to feel more explosive. So for me, there's still a lot more work to do in ring wise for LA Knight. So I am happy that Bronson Reed got this win. There's still so many more potential matchups that they can have with Bronson Reed and so many other guys. And I really do feel a lot of his potential has sort of been untapped at the moment. So that's what I feel about. And David Lacey says, everyone is saying Knight was buried tonight. Well, it doesn't look good that he lost, his second match? Yeah, it doesn't look good. But at the same time, I just don't think that he should have been the one to take this one, really. Joseph Boza says, Eli Drake, I can't say LA Knight yet. We'll be fine with the loss. Bronson Reed looks good with the win. Bronson Reed has been getting a lot of wins too. Like looking back at the past couple of months, he's had pretty good wins. And since he's returned, actually. So, and yeah, I feel you. I've been training myself a lot more at saying LA Knight. Brandon, thank you so much for sending in a super chat. I truly, truly appreciate it. Brandon says, great interview with Cross. Balor's deep water comment tonight makes me wonder if he listened to it too. Also, that Walter chop on Ciampa tonight was glorious. I'm getting giddy for that match. Brandon, thank you so much for sending me into my next segue into this. So for those of you who do not know what Brandon is talking about, I got to interview Karrion Kross, and I cannot tell you the amount of positive feedback that I have gotten back from that interview. Everybody has loved that interview with Karrion Kross because we talk about the fact that he had to relinquish the NXT championship. He had to, he was injured. He had to relinquish it, and he only had the belt for 3-4 days. So he makes his way to becoming NXT champion and then has to give it up because of a freak accident. So we talk about that. We talk about, what's motivating him to essentially get back to being the face of NXT, to essentially being NXT champion once again, to defeating a champion like Finn Balor. So we talk about that. And the water comment, I thought about it too. So in my interview, Karrion Kross basically says that his biggest fear is essentially deep waters, and they played it off. That was part of what was mentioned here tonight, and I'll say the direct quote later on, but that was a pretty cool connection, especially because he had mentioned it, and it's a real fear that Kross has. He's legitimately afraid of being in deep water. So the fact that Balor sort of mentioned that was kind of cool, but I doubt he saw my interview. But either way, I'm just going to pretend he did. And we have a lot to talk about when it comes to Walter and Ciampa, because I am so bloody excited for that match. And I said this, and I'll say it again, the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver cards are really, really looking good. And we'll kind of touch base on that once we get there. But Brandon, thank you so much for the super chat here today. And a comment from Steve Wrestling Fan who says Kross is a class act. He really, really is. Sean Harrington says Bronson Reed should be challenging Gargano instead of Loomis, who does nothing for me. Dude, I think it's going to be Loomis. It should be Bronson Reed. It should be somebody like Kushida, but I think it's going to be Loomis. All right. So after this, we had Karrion Kross versus Oni Lorcan. So there you go, guys. Again, do not forget to check out my interview with Karrion Kross. You can check that out on youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. The link is in the description box of this video. So first of all, my favorite things of this match were the chops from Oni Lorcan. They look sick. Obviously, they're not Walter sick, but they're still sick. The Sayada suplex from Kross was pretty awesome too. But really what I liked from this match was that Kross really looked explosive in this match. He looked he looked great in this, but I did think, though, that he did sell too much for Oney Lorcan. I didn't think he had to do that much selling for Oney Lorcan, considering that he's the one heading into this match with Finn Balor. But for the most part, it was a fine match. Cross got the win. Post-match, Cross cuts a promo basically saying that he wants to address the actions from Balor last week in which he accidentally knocked out Scarlett. Cross says that Finn Balor's actions had malice. They had intention. Says that he appreciates it, though. He appreciates what happened last week because this helped him realize that he was respecting a man who didn't deserve it. And that was my favorite line from this promo. It was a really, really good line. And then Finn Balor comes out and says, basically goes on and tells Cross that he's untouchable in the ring and that he's going to drag him into the cold, deep water with no emotion. He's going to drown him. And that is the line that Brandon was referring to earlier on in the super chat that ties into my interview because Karrion Kross says that he is afraid of deep waters. And that is something that Finn Balor brought up in this promo. So really good stuff from both men. I was a big fan of both of those there. And let's see what else we have here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on, guys. So after this, we had William Regal announce a Gauntlet Eliminator Battle Royal. It's 12 guys. Whoever wins gets to face Johnny Gargano for the title at TakeOver. And again, I do think it's going to be Dexter Lumis. I would like it to be Kushida or Bronson Reed or someone like that, but I think it's going to be Lumis. After this, we had Walter versus Jake Maverick. Walter won, and this was really just Walter just killing Jake Maverick. It was quick. He killed him. That was it. But then Ciampa comes out, and he basically tells him, your championship, it intrigues me. I want it, and challenges him, and it's for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. And I am so excited that we are getting this match. I know that it's going to be brutal. I know that it's going to be gruesome, and I cannot wait to see it because that is that's what I like to see, guys. I like to see two badasses just killing each other, and I know that I'm going to see that with Walter and with Ciampa, so I am so ready for that. So ready. And let's see, we have Amber and Shotzi defeat Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah. This was fine. This was okay. I don't really have much to add about this one. After this, we had Kushida versus Jordan Devlin. And I just got to say that Kushida is too good to be getting overshadowed. He constantly, every time you think he's going to get to a certain point on the card, they always knock him back down. And that's kind of how I feel right now for Kushida. He's being knocked back down at the moment, which I'm not a fan of. Legado del Fantasma come out, and they almost cost the match for Jordan Devlin, but Devlin ends up winning. And then Shawn Michaels comes out. And he literally just puts a ladder in between Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin, who are facing each other off in the ring. And he just puts the ladder in between them and basically tells them, like you guys are doing this, right? You're doing this. I thought this was fun. I liked it. I liked the way they announced it, or not announced it really, but the way that they actually got it to essentially be made. So good stuff there. And then lastly, we had William Regal make his the punishment that he had in mind for Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. He puts a contract in between them to face each other at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, unsanctioned match. Really, the big takeaway from this is that obviously they're going to wrestle each other, but also that both guys, they cut really good promos, and it was expected, but it was really good because they took it to a personal level, and that's what I really enjoyed, and I really thought that that's the way that it should be. It should be personal because these guys have a history together. So this was really good. I love the ending because at the end, you just saw both guys literally trying to get at each other, but they were both being held back. So they were just sort of cursing each other and yelling at each other. So this was a really good end to NXT. So overall, good wrestling on NXT and a really strong ending as well. And the cards too are looking pretty great because here we go, guys. So this is the card. Oh, I could barely see, but we have a lot of matches so far already announced. Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez. That's going to be really good. We have MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. That should be an awesome triple threat. Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, Kushida, Leon Ruff, Cameron Grimes, Austin Theory, Roderick Strong, LA Knight, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Pete Dunne, Tyler Rust, and Jake Atlas will all be taking part in the gauntlet for the gold match, or whatever the gauntlet. And then Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa, which is really what I'm here for. Afterwards, they do have Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. That's going to be badass. Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, again, badass. Johnny Gargano with whoever wins the gauntlet. And then Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar in a ladder match. So the cards for both nights, and I just screenshotted this off of Wikipedia. The cards for both nights are looking really good. So I'm looking forward to this show. Alrighty, guys. Wow, we had a lot to talk about today, especially with AEW Dynamite. So I hope you guys had a good time talking about both AEW Dynamite and NXT. So I will be back again next week, chatting things up. And obviously we're going to be almost heading into NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. So we'll obviously have plenty more to talk about that pay-per-view once we get nearer to the pay-per-view. But for the most part, that is the show, everyone. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to youtube.com/F4W online. Make sure to subscribe if you're here. If you're on the live stream, subscribe. If you're an audio listener, make sure to subscribe as well. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, everyone. Take care.